Good day to everyone. I am Hasalu Himakara Ahangama, and today I'm going to be showing you the game made by me, the 2D game made by me, using Visual Studio Code. So basically, the game works like this. If you press enter, you can see this boy runs, and you have to jump and dodge these fire blocks. So you can press try again, and the page reloads, and you can play again. So as you can see, I can keep jumping like this, and the score just goes on. So basically, when you die, the screen comes here, the end screen. So it displays your score right here, and you have the try again button, which you can press to play the game again. And when you go over to the Visual Studio Code application, you can see the code used to actually make this. So you can see the HTML file, and I have added the title in the head. Like this. I just named it Red Hat Boy, and you can see here on the Explorer area, I have added the images used for the basically the assets used for the game. The background is right here. You got the jump images, the jump sounds, the run images, and stuff like that. And if you go over here, on the body, you can see that I have linked the script.js file using the script tag, and I have put the src right here and actually linked it. And yeah, so as you can see here, in the body I have done this. So I have actually entered on key up, which means when the keys are released, the function works. So the function is key check event. So here right on the top, you can see the key check event function, which basically what it does is when you press the enter key, so this is basically the the number code for the enter key, which is 13. You can get this by alerting, doing alert tag. And if you go over here to style.css, you can see what. So basically I gave this a class so I can style it right here in this div tag. I've added the image like this. So I've added the background image, you can see it right here. And I've actually done position absolute, which basically this what it does is it doesn't get mixed up with all the other style.css stuff. So I've done the width 100 viewport, and height also I've done 100 viewport length. What it does is it covers the whole screen. So if you're wondering what this does, it's basically so that the image is perfectly covered. And what this overflow X does is, well, what it does is when the blocks are created, the fire blocks, so what it does is basically hides all the fire blocks that are generating, and doesn't let you scroll on the direction it is generating in. So I have actually done the dot boy using this ID. So I've entered the run PNG right here, the first PNG. So it's basically just like an idle PNG, it's a bit different. So I've added a class as boy and ID as boy. So the ID, so I can add JavaScript to it, and class, so I can add CSS to it. So as you can see, I have managed everything. And this margin top, it basically brings the sprite down. So I have managed it so he's perfectly on this platform, or platform. So dot score, this is basically the score. I've done the font family as Arial, and margin left as 25 pixel, the font size as 50 pixel, and of course the position absolute fact. I've also done the dot block. So basically the block is wait a minute, it's right here on the oh wait, so actually I have named like the block. I have actually created it using JavaScript, so it's not visible on the index.html file, but it is actually there inside the body tag. So as you can see, I have given this the flame.gif and background size, of course cover, and I have managed this so it perfectly matches this width. As you can see, it's perfectly small, and it lines up with the ground and stuff. And here all these values are just the height and the stuff we want, so it's a basic style.css. so right here we have done the visibility as hidden, because you don't want it always on your screen, you just want it when you die, so you do it hidden, and you use some JavaScript to make it appear when you die. So this is the button we use. I use this color because I wanted, it was initially red, so I managed that. And if you go over here to the JavaScript file, you can see on top of here I have added the run sound, the jump sound, and the dead sound. But we started off with the key event, which is the function key event. So I first entered the enter key. So if added the if tag, and inside here we have event.which. So if it equals to 13, I have said to set the run worker ID to 0. So if it is set and if the run worker ID is 0, I've said that to set an interval to run in 100 milliseconds per frame. And if you go over here, the background work ID is here, which basically moves the background for every millisecond, and the score work ID is here, so the score updates every 100 milliseconds. And you have got the create block work ID, which basically creates the block. You got the move block work ID, which basically moves the blocks. Right here you can see the space key, and this is actually the key code for the space key, which is 32. So if it equals to 32, I've said that if the jump work ID is equals to 0, clear interval of the run work ID, so it stops. And then I have added the run sound. I've added the run sound so it pauses when you jump, and I have added the run jump work ID right here, and now the jump sound will also play. And you got the boy run right here, which is I have added a variable as boy. So this basically holds and actually identifies the element, the tag where I have put the ID as boy right here. So it basically selects that. I had another variable as run image 1, which I will explain later, and the run worker ID is 0. And right here I have added a function as run, and right here you can see the run image number. I have added these two pluses, so this basically keeps on adding 1 to every run image number. So what this tag does is you only have 8 images, so this prevents it from crashing. So when it reaches 9, it actually automatically goes to 1 and creates a loop. So this basically gets this global variable and the src. So basically I've added, so you might wonder why I didn't add the quotations normally like these two. that's because run image number is will appear as a text if I do that. So I have initially put these tags like this, and I have added this separately. And since this changes right here, as you can see, this changes till 8, still 9, and it doesn't go to 9. Instead of 9, it goes to 1 because of this if tag. So as you can see here, you can see a boy jump comment right here. So the variable I've set global variable as jump work ID, which I will talk about later, and I've set the boy margin top as 360 because the initial boy margin top is 360, as you can see right here. So he starts in the ground. So I've done another function, so the jump image number, as earlier I have done this, so it adds 1 to everything. So this is basically, I have added a comment as fly. So if the jump image number is smaller than 7, so basically when it's on 7, he's basically on the air, right? So basically what this does is, when he's on the air, the boy margin top, which is the margin top, minuses by 30. This was initially 25, but I changed it to 30 because I thought it would be better. And you got here the boy dot style margin top. So this basically puts a value. So since this code doesn't know a value, I have put it as pixel. So the pixel like the type of thing we measure it as is pixel. So this is the landing state. So as you can see on the on the 8 jump thing, so he's on like on the middle. So he's at this state he's gonna fall down, right? So I've done it so that if the jump image number is larger than, and if 8 is smaller than it or equal, it's gonna add 30 pixel to it. So he would come down 30 pixel and then he would touch the ground. Then I had done it so that if the jump image number is 13, we actually got 12, it will automatically go to 1, and a loop is created like before with the run. Right here I had done a clear interval. So what this basically does is it clears the jump work ID, so it stops it for a while. Then it stops the jump, and then I have said here, if the jump work ID it stops for a while, and then I have said here run work ID, I've set interval to 100, so he starts running, the run sound starts playing with this command. So as you can see here, when I press space, he comes back down and starts running, right? So to set that, I have set a comment as starting with jump, and if the score work ID, so I've actually set everything here. So if he jumps and he comes back down and the score work ID works, the background moves and the blocks create and the blocks move. Right here I have entered the variable we created earlier, and it basically enters the src scene right here, basically changes it. So basically you got the jump right here, right? So earlier, like we added the run, we have added the jump, and on the top we can see right here I have added 2 pluses, so it keeps adding 1. So this quantity changes. Next we got the move background. So I have actually added a comment here, and we added a variable as background ID, which selects the index which selects the ID right here from the div class in the index.html, and I've done background X, which basically moves it to the x-axis. So as you can see right here, it still doesn't work until we come here. So the background ID basically selects that, and the background work ID, like all the other ones, it basically just gives it a worker. So I've set it as 0 here. So there's a function called move background. I've actually added one, and I have used the variable I created earlier and minus 20 from it, so the background moves. So basically the background work ID is right here, and I've entered this. Wait a bit. There you go. I've entered the style, and I've gone to the background position X. So basically this puts it like moves it to the x-axis. So I have used this variable and said to use the pixel value. So moving on to the score, this basically gives it a score. So as you can see right here, he moves and the score works, and yeah, it just goes on. So to create that, this variable, this comment is made. It's not the comment, but the function actually. So I have created a variable as score ID. So actually I get this div tag I put earlier as the end score. So I've given it as the score right here. I've given it the value 0 right now. It's gonna change soon. And I have given it a variable. After that, I've selected it, and I've given another variable as score work ID, which basically is a worker, and I've set the new score at 0 for 1 now. So I've added a new score, and I've given these two plus signs, which basically keeps on adding 1 to it, and the score ID I selected, and the inner HTML, basically the HTML in middle. So basically, so the 0 value right here. So basically I equals it to the new score, so it changes, and that closes from there. I've done another comment to create the block. So right here, the create block work ID, I've set it to 0, and the block margin left, I've set it to 500, because that's how long the distance is with the sprite and the block. And I've given the block ID as 1 because it starts with 1. If it starts with 0, it will not appear. So I've done another function. So I've made another variable, this time a local variable. So I've named it as block, and I basically named it as block, and I actually created an element. So what I said earlier, that I created an element inside the HTML file using using script.js. So basically I added a class name to it as block, and an ID name to it as block. Class name so I can style it, and a block name so I can use JavaScript on it. So like earlier, I have added this, so it keeps on adding 1 to it every single time, and basically this creates a gap. So basically this is a math, so it generates in random areas instead of just a certain area. So this is a variable gap, and the block margin left I've created right here. It's 500 equals, so it pluses gap, so it always generates 500 blocks away, or not close actually. It generates 500 blocks away or a little bit more to the other side, not near the player but away from the player. So I have added gap here, so this math works and it is generated in random areas. And yeah, then I have created the element, right? So it is, so the block element, I go into the style and the margin left, the block margin left, it's 500. So I'm going to say, since it doesn't have a value, I'm going to say the value is pixel, so it's gonna take it from pixels. So right here I have done the document.get element by ID, and I've selected background and done this append child thing. So what this basically does is, so it takes the block tag, the div tag named as block. So basically, if it's outside the background div tag, it's not gonna appear, right? So this append child basically, it's gonna be under the background div tag and not out of it because of this append child thing. So then we got the move block, which is basically not the last one but close to the last. I have done a comment as move block, and I have added the variable as a global variable. I have done the move block work ID, and then I have done the function move block. Yeah, I have done a for command. So basically, this is the local variable. So since the block ID right here and this I we created right now is basically the same, I've added it, so if it's equal, or if it's it's equal or bigger than the this I, yeah, I'm a bit stuck there. Yeah, so we have created a variable as current block, and we have we have actually selected the block plus I in that, and we have done another one as current block margin left, and we have actually done use this variable, and we have entered the margin left of it, and the new block margin left, basically it passed, this says pass integer, and basically what it does is it minuses 20, so it comes in the way of the player. Then here also put the value right here as pixel. So basically this are not comments, I just put it so I can remember. These are used since when you jump, you actually die earlier, so I have done it so you can you can alert. So if you remove this, it becomes alert. So basically it alerts the new block margin left, and I can get two values when he's touching the fire and not touching the fire. So I can get the value and do this if, and I can also get the value right when he jumps. So I have done it as 300. I actually got 240 earlier, it didn't work, and I then used 300 and checked again, and it actually worked. So I've done another if the boy margin top is 300, so the background stops because I have put a clear interval. The score stops since he basically touches it, and the run sound also pauses when he jumps, and the run worker ID actually also stops. The jump worker ID stops. The create block worker ID stops. The move block worker ID stops, and the dead worker set starts, and the dead sound plays. And right here you have the dead comment. So basically this basically what this is it starts from the number 1, the dead image number, and the dead worker start from 0, and I've added another function, and this basically, as earlier, keeps on adding 1 to every image number. So there's 10 dead images. So if it reaches 11, it's gonna go back to 10, because if he goes back to goes back to 1, he's gonna start walking again, or basically he's gonna start standing again. Like if he's on 1, he starts standing, so that's not good. So that's why it's on 10. So it repeats from 1, 11 and 10. 10 and 11, it just goes on a loop. And the boy style dot margin top, I did that because he's gonna be on the surface even when he dies. Just comes back down. And end screen, basically it becomes visible. So as you can see, in the style we have actually put it as hidden, so when he dies it becomes visible, and the init HTML turns into the new score in that, so the score displays. And basically this, as I said earlier, in the run images and the jump images, basically does the same thing. Dead image number changes. And this the last function, the reload function, what it does is when you press the try again button, the page reloads and you can play again. So that's basically it's for the 2D game. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and thanks for watching.